Welcome back to Sploosh MTB. Today we're going to be looking at two portable tire inflators that don't suck. Now, both of these are traditionally marketed towards car tire inflation. But this is a mountain biking channel, so we're going to mainly focus on how well they work for bike tires and whether or not they might be worth fitting in your bike bag. If you're here for car tires, stick around, we're going to cover that as well. Now, just to be transparent, both of these companies did send me these completely for free, but I'm not being paid by them, so I'm not obligated to say anything nice. So I'm going to give you my unfiltered thoughts on these. One thing I will say, since it was very generous of them to send me these, is both of these are going to be on sale for Prime Day. So if you're looking for a good deal on one of these, go check one out. And especially for the AirMoto itself, since I've been using this one for so long, they actually sent me a discount code as well that you guys can see in the description below. Sploosh20 is going to be your discount code, and use the link in the description to pick one up for yourself. All right, let's take a look at the AirMoto first. So, powering this guy on, we're just gonna hold it for a few seconds. There we go, we're powered on. You can see it gives you a few different things here. So it's gonna give you the actual pressure that's measuring up at the top, the pressure that you're set for at the bottom. We can adjust that pressure, say we want 30 PSI, we'll just up that. We can decrease that as well. As you can see, we have it selected to the bike setting. There are multiple different settings here. So if I hit this button down here, we're gonna be able to cycle through our settings with sports equipment and a sort of other settings, but tire inflator. To be able to actually operate this, we're gonna actually go ahead and pull the hose out from the top. Boom, right there. It's very convenient that it's got its own hose storage for this. Next up, we're gonna go to the top, find our hose insertion area, and get it in there. It screws right in, and you are ready to inflate. Really quick for the ease of use on this one, the one thing worth noting is, since we're focusing on bikes here, once you do get your hose on there, you're gonna want your Schrader to Presta adapter, so that you need to actually be able to inflate any modern bikes with any Presta valves on there. So you'll attach that right onto the end there, and that changes the end so you can actually fill up Presta valves. I'll also wait for you and I'll put the weight up on the scale here. Let's turn this one off. Let's go look at the Astro AI tire inflator. This one is pretty new to me. I'm actually not too familiar with it, so we're gonna actually go through it together, but I've tried it a little bit and it's been pretty good so far. So first things first, since this one's so new to me, we get the opportunity to take off this very satisfying tape. A little ASMR action for you guys. Very clean, beautiful display, very similar to the AirMoto. No big differences there. The main differences are gonna be the size. So in comparison, you can see this one's a little bit shorter. So while it only measures in at about 5.5 inches long, it is a good bit wider. You got 2.5 inches wide. So it's a ½ inch shorter in length, but a whole inch wider. Take that for what you will. It also does weigh about 20 grams more, if that matters to you. Its shorter, more compact design might allow it for better fits into some bike bags. Let's power this one on as well. It's gonna power almost exactly the same way. So we're gonna hold this button down, 1, 2, 3, it's on. And we've got the same exact display really. So we've got our set pressure down here, as well as the pressure that we're actually filling up here. So since we're not connected to anything, it's gonna say 0, but we get to cycle through our modes. You see right now we're in the bike setting. Click that once, we're on sports equipment like balls, any personal options. We've got the car tire inflator and motorcycles actually as well. The one notable thing about this is it doesn't have anywhere internally to store its own hose like the AirMoto did. It comes with a hose separately, and you're gonna have to attach the hose, but the hose does not store anywhere within it like the AirMoto did. So to attach our hose, you're just gonna plug it into our hose insertion. Boom, that's in there, and it's set up, ready to inflate. As you can see, it's also by default set up for a Schrader valve. They do also send you with a whole list of attachments. More notably for this video is the Schrader to Presta adapter. We're just gonna screw that onto the end, and voila, you've now got a Presta valve adapter. While I've got both these set up, the one biggest thing worth noting is the usability. While they both have a lot of the same options, so they both have USB charging, they both have a external charging capability, so you can actually go ahead and attach a power bank to them as well with their USB-C. There's a few key differences. One of the biggest ones is going to be the light function. I'll display them in the dark as well, and I'll probably put that on camera right now. But the AirMoto has a pretty small light, you can see it right there, while our Astro AI inflator has quite a big light up there, and it's pretty bright at night. The light function on the Astro AI, check this out, it's got 3 settings. So you've got a flashlight setting, it's got a red flashing setting that's just going to be a little bit milder, and then it's got one that's like, hey, Mayday. You can even, like, if you're changing your car tire on the side of the road or something like that and you need to set up something, you don't have a flare, you can set this up and have it be pretty obnoxious so people can see your car at night. And I think that's pretty useful. It's almost a little funny, like both of these have such similar displays. Look at the way they turn on, it's almost the same. So such similar displays, and then on top of that, you've got both of them that have this little slider here that lets you kind of keep your mark on the actual hose itself. This one's got a bigger orange slider. Very similar build altogether. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Now, for the whole reason I'm reviewing these in the first place, because quite honestly, I don't feel the need to review portable air pumps. But that being said, I do find these very valuable, and that's why I want to review it. Every now and then I'll come across a product that I actually enjoy using and I feel like people should actually know about, so I'd like to showcase it on the channel. Now, the AirMoto, as I mentioned, I have been using for a few months. I actually used it all the way throughout the winter. It got me through those parts of the winter where your tires are constantly inflating and deflating and losing tire pressure at the worst times, and you're always getting your TPMS light coming on. So I kept this one pretty handy, and even in the darkness of the winter, it was actually helping me out a lot. It has just enough light to show you your valve and everything when you're filling up your tires at night. So this is something that I initially realized, okay, these are important, and even more so on the bike, because getting flats in the car, you can make it to any gas station. Getting flats on the bike, sometimes you're pretty far out in the wilderness. Now, the whole point of tire inflators is to inflate tires. So let's go put them to the test. All right, let's do some product testing. Here we've got our test mule, my S-Works Stumpjumper Evo. We're gonna be using these Maxxis tires to test the inflation on. I want you guys to understand the dedication to the craft. It is like 95 degrees out here and very humid, so we're gonna make it happen. So if you enjoy this one or it's helpful to you, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Appreciate you guys. So to make this a pretty fair comparison, I'm gonna drop some pressure here and we're gonna see how long it takes to inflate that amount of pressure. For this test, we did not fill from flat. We dropped about 6 PSI only. Both these pumps are fully capable of filling from flat. However, I was melting in this heat, so we rushed it a little bit. All right, first one, AirMoto. I've got my Presto valve adapter on, so let's get it on to my Presto valve. So let's move this over to the bike setting, and I want to set this for 30 PSI. I'll spare you guys the audio of a portable air pump doing its thing. However, a big flaw I noticed with this AirMoto pump was no matter which Presto valve I tried, the gauge did not read correctly for the current pressure. So you really don't know how accurate of a pressure you're getting. All right, round 2. Hopefully we have better luck with this one. Astro AI on the bike tire. I've got my Presto valve adapter on there. All right, we're on. Night and day difference with the Astro AI. Super accurate and inflated the same amount of pressure in half the time as the AirMoto. I think for bike pumps, this one is going to be a clear winner, although both are really great options. So let's see how they fare when it comes to car tires. Starting off again with the AirMoto. Let's let out a little bit of pressure. It spins from the top, which is beautiful. And I have it set to the car setting, so as soon as it gets connected up, it's gonna tell me what our pressure's at. So we're at 34.5. I need to be at 36, so we're gonna drop this down to 36. For the AirMoto, it took about 1 whole minute to go 1.5 PSI. I'll speed that up, cause ain't nobody got time for that. All right, there we go. That's the auto shut off, says done. We got to 36 and I wanted to top it off at 36. So now let's switch over to the Astro AI. We're back with the Astro AI. We're back to 34.5 PSI in my car. This one's reading us at 34.5, there we go. All right, so let's get started. I barely needed to even speed this clip up. 9 seconds flat for the Astro AI. You saw how much quicker that was. So make the decision for yourself, whether it's with size, compatibility, or just the amount of time it takes to fill your tires. This is the Astro AI tire inflator, and this is the AirMoto tire inflator. Both great products, 2 tire inflators that both don't suck. If you like mountain bike content, you're in the right place. Stick around, check out my other videos. I'll catch you guys in the next one.